about to get started to see which one can be the most retarded. Tinfoil haters, it's time to start the show. Tinfoil haters, it's time to start the show. Tinfoil haters, don't tell them what to say. Tinfoil haters are here to save the day. And Sammy are about to get started to see which one can be the most retarded. Tinfoil haters, it's time to start the show. Tinfoil haters, it's time to start the show.
Welcome back to Tinfoil Haters. How are all you vital idols doing? Today is a very special sort of episode. Before we even get into sort of intros or what, I can go ahead and just give you guys a lowdown. As you know, I've talked about this before. In fact, we talked about it on our anniversary show a couple weeks ago. This particular show was very inspired by the channel The Y-Files. It is my favorite YouTube channel of all time. And as such, I had opted, at least I had thought, that we were never going to really cover any of his videos. He puts a lot of work, time, effort into them. However, the Y-Files dropped a video on Sunday, and it was a very, very important video for anybody that has, any sort of fears of government, world economic forum, Illuminati, whatever you want to call it. It's one of those videos where it's 100% life-changing to people when they open their eyes, and a lot of people in this circle, Tinfoil haters, might already know about this sort of concept, the concept of Psyops, and I thought maybe for a moment, man, it'd be great to just cover this video on TFH. And I thought, no, we do our own thing. The point of this show is the research we put in throughout the week, doing the debunking if we can do it, not being able to do it. I didn't want to just piggyback off someone else already doing all the work. But then our very own Jake Martin, through the video in the Discord, said, yo, Leon, you got to react to this. Now, I'd already seen it, so it can't really be a reaction per se. But the fact that Jake was like, hey, you guys should cover this, made me think that maybe we should break our no Y-Files coverage rule this once. So that's what we're doing today. We are breaking down his manipulation and psyop video, which is it will put the fear of God in you guys. It will 100% make you question everything, regardless of your political affiliation or anything. This might be one of those. It's certainly one of the most important videos he's ever done. I can't believe he even did it. I'm quite surprised. And while he's a much larger channel than us, if we get even one other person to kind of open their mind and think about things they hadn't done before, then I think it'll be worth it. So before we get into any of that, before I actually break down the reaction, again, shout out Jake. Thank you very much for convincing me to go ahead and actually pull the trigger on this. My co-host, Sammy, tell the people who you are and what you do.
I'm Sammy 3P. I'm a Detroit-based musician. I'm also a streamer. You can find me, I don't know, check out my Twitter. I'm always telling people what I'm doing. Yeah, I did not know what we were doing today. You cut me kind of in the dark, so I'm extremely excited about this. I'm pretty stoked that this is what we're doing. I had no clue what to.
You're in for a treat, especially if you haven't seen this video. And Cindy, I know sometimes you watch the Y-Files, so I turn you on to the channel. Have you seen the have you seen this video, or are you going in blind as well? Also, tell the people who you are and what you do.
Well, hey there, cuties. I'm Cinevere. Y'all know where to find me. I am on all platforms as Cinevere. I like to talk about anime and gaming, and I like the spooky stuff. I do like Y-Files, but I have not seen this latest episode. I do admit I am fairly behind, unfortunately. So I'm excited.
Excellent. Well, before we get into it, before we start breaking it down, let's say hey to everybody, especially the two individuals that came in as pre-stream legends. We got our boy Jake Martin coming in hot. Jake, thank you so much. Truly appreciate you. You are the MVP this week.
You know what? You just made the list. Oh, no.
Oh, here we go.
And then Blue Collar Loser for a two-banger says, fear sucks, but I ain't afraid to say I love you both. Well, there's three of us here, so someone's left out. Either way, Thank you, Blue. Truly appreciate you. All right, who we got in the house today? I know there's a lot of you in here. Philip Morgan in the house, CFH90, Valiant Goat, Crovax, Alfredo Charizo. Again, shout out to our boy Jake Martin. Scotty G is in the house. Shout out to Scotty. Gal Kerriman is here. The true Aztec Warrior. Little Miss Anonymous saying me, howdy, y'all. How you doing, LMA? Bridget is here. Shout out to Bridget. Luigi, Frank, and Bob. I don't recall if you're new or not. I would think I'd remember a name like that. Either way, legendary. Paul Byersmith, the auto bestie. Spectral Probe. Shout out to Spectral Probe is here. Butterframe to Gold. Butterframe to Gold. Again, if you didn't, I don't know if you got my message on Steam or not, but thank you very much for the gifted games. Truly appreciate it. I will absolutely be getting down. Homie sent me the Blood Rain duology, Blood Rain 1 and 2. Remasters on Steam. So super cool. Actual Free Expression Warrior, how you doing? Actual Free Expression Warrior. Let's see. Is there anybody we're missing? Of course, Cinevere will be talking to you guys in the chat, as will Sammy. So shout out to both you two lovely co-hosts. I could not be doing this without you. Blue Collar Losers in the house. Unknown Entity. Did you hear Congress is best to be able to release the Epstein files? Yeah, I'll believe things get done when I see it.
They've been properly wiped.
Yeah, exactly. Tommy Curlongo is in the house. Fat Roller. Our boy Niat over at Film Comics Explained. Shout out Niat. How you doing? I haven't seen the latest episode, but I know all about this stuff. Good. Then you're going to be in good hands with this episode. Epstein Brothers said the files are being tampered with. That, of course they are. Zalozy is here. How you doing, Zalozy? Thank you, Stream Elements Bot, for doing your job. Divina Duckworth is in the house. Patrick Roxas. And that is everybody. Guys, this is going to be a longer episode, and I have another stream to be on in 2 hours. So let's just get right into it. If at any point... Now, by the way, another reason for covering this, I'm noticing a psyop going on right now, and when it's appropriate, bring it up, or at least what I think is a psyop during the video. I'll be sure to get to it. So, yeah, let's just start breaking it down. Psyops, from dead babies to UFOs, the same pattern every time. Let me know if at any point you want me to pause it. And as you guys know, if we're going to be using somebody's content, we will let ad reads play out.
This episode of the Y-Files is brought to you by Upside. Pop quiz. Which of these statements is true? Eggs raise your cholesterol. You need 8 glasses of water a day. Milk builds strong bones and teeth.
One of these three things is true. Don't everybody
No,
answer
it's not
one.
eggs. I know it's not eggs. Probably water.
I didn't even hear the third one.
Milk builds strong bones and teeth.
I don't know about that.
One of these things ain't true, or one of these things is true.
Which one of these things is true or is not true? Either way.
I thought the two. I thought you need 8 glasses of water a day, and milk helps build bones. And I thought eggs don't give you high cholesterol.
Yeah, he said that eggs raise your cholesterol. So that's the one that's not true to you. Is eggs raising cholesterol? Okay.
Trick question. None of those are true. Diamonds are rare, right? No, they're not. Depression comes from a chemical imbalance in the brain. Nope.
Yeah.
Now, these aren't mistakes or outdated science. These are psychological operations, psyops, designed to control what you buy, what you think, and how you live. We're being programmed every minute of every day, and most people don't know it. But after today, you'll know exactly how you're being manipulated. Because all psyops follow a pattern, and I'm going to show you a simple formula that can detect a psyop with scary accuracy. We'll even use it on real cases.
And we'll be using... Oh, go on.
By chance, do they use this on microplastics?
I don't know if this episode's covered in microplastics. What do you mean do they use this?
Like, all of a sudden, I think within the last year or so, they started saying that microplastics was in everything, and that we keep ingesting it, and it's causing a lot of problems, like health-wise. So I'm kind of wondering if that's also a psyop, since, like I said,
Well, the psyop was more likely hiding microplastics, and people breaking out of the psyop are the ones finally talking about microplastics, or maybe the people breaking out of the psyop are running an anti-psyop or reverse psyop for microplastics. That's the thing. When I said this is going to get you to question everything, it literally means everything. Also, we're going to be using this formula, or at least in part, on something I've been noticing on X. So I can't wait to see if you guys have as well.
But I'm warning you, once you learn the pattern, you'll see it everywhere, and it's going to make you angry.
Matter of fact, you using the whole fist talk?
Hey there, Debunk Daddy-O. I got a little situation here.
No, whatever this is, I don't want any part of it.
Oh, don't be like that. I'm living that jazz life now. I'm mellow and possess a world where it's I got a Barry sax and everything.
Barry sax?
Baritone saxophone.
I know what a Barry is. What's this about living the jazz life?
Hecklefish and the smooth operators. We've been hitting the clubs every night. A real underground scene. Mostly because the fire marshal shut us down. But the crowd digs me. They say
Seems kinda
I'm
like your band,
unforgettable.
Sammy.
Why? Because of the music?
Because I won't leave when it close. Listen, gig life ain't cheap. Gas, groceries, shrimp cocktails. My sax may be smooth, but my wallet's playing the blues.
And here it comes, the part where you need money.
Yeah, I prefer to call it financial improvisation. Speaking of which, what's the difference between a jazz musician and a large pizza?
What?
A large pizza can feed a family of 4. But seriously, can you throw a little dough my way?
Look, why don't you just use Upside? You get cash back for everyday purchases like gas, groceries, and snacks.
Oh, did you just keep up a do-bop, shop-it-up, a woo-bop right in today's sponsor, perchance maybe you did that there?
Yep.
Hot
The
diggity.
holidays are meant for giving, but between road trips, family dinners, and all those grocery and gas runs, the costs add up fast. That's why I use Upside, the free app that gives you cash back on gas, groceries, and dining. It's already given users over
Upside
$1 billion
Psyops.
back. No points, no gimmicks, just cash
I
in your
wonder if
pocket.
he thought
Here's
of
how
that
it
when he
works.
made this.
Claim an offer for whatever you're
I'm
buying on
sure he
Upside.
did.
Pay as usual with your credit card or debit card. Follow the steps in the app and get paid. With over 100,000 gas stations, grocery stores, and restaurants, cashback is always nearby. And Upside users earn 3 times more cash back than credit card or loyalty programs. I check the app every time I gas up. The other day, I claimed an offer at Chevron. It took maybe 30 seconds, and now I'm earning cash back for just doing what I was already going to do. Frequent users can make as much as $280 a year. Download the free Upside app today
year?
and use code the Y-Files or scan the QR code for an extra 25 cents back per gallon on your first tank. See? Earning beats begging.
Earning's fine, human, but jazz takes commitment. I'm up every night expanding my repertoire. The ladies love a musician with a big horn.
Where's the
All
line?
right, ad reads
Let me
over.
step outside the
You
script
go.
for just a minute. For a couple of years, I've been wanting to do an episode on psyops and the techniques to detect them. So when Sean Ryan asked if I'd help spread the word about his new podcast series, I immediately said yes. I'll link below to where you can listen to it. It's an 8-part series on psyops. And Sean said I can cover psyops however I wanted. So here's where the simulation or the universe or whatever you want to call it comes in. I thought it'd be interesting to talk about something called the NCI Engineered Reality Scoring System.
This right here is what you guys are going to need to memorize. Not necessarily you guys on the panel, although you as well, but you guys in the audience. The NCI Engineered Reality Scoring System. This will be life-changing. So yeah, he'll go over all this throughout the episode. So I'm not gonna read it off now. But any thoughts before we go further from either of you guys?
I don't know, but I'm typing this in so I can have it separately.
That's what I like to hear, my man.
Now,
Took
this
a
is a
screenshot.
20-question test designed to detect
Holy
manipulation.
shit.
The guy who built it, Chase Hughes, spent 2 decades training military and intelligence personnel. Navy SEALs, CIA, FBI. This guy literally trains the people who run PSYOPs for a living. Now, I followed his work for years, and his system is so simple, but so brutally effective, it completely changed the way I consume news. So I told Sean's team, hey, I'm thinking of covering Chase Hughes and the NCI test. Perfect. Chase is on the show this week. I believe in signs. That was a sign. Now, when creators say this is the video they don't want you to see, it's usually clickbait, and I should know because I've done it. But this truly is information that the people in power don't want you to know. This is the secret sauce, the 11 herbs and spices.
And that is why I'm surprised he put this in a YouTube video. Like, I'm going to be real. I don't know if you guys follow AJ's work or whatnot. For the most part, a lot of what he covers, yeah, it's sort of on the line of what YouTube and more importantly, those up top would find acceptable. But there's stuff he refuses to cover on YouTube, and he'll exclusively put it on like the audio only podcast if he covers it at all. So the fact that he put this on YouTube is incredibly ballsy, and it maybe I'm just too much of a conspiracy theorist, but does make me worry for like this dude's future. He not too long ago, last year, did an episode on the IRS. Oh, what do you know? He got audited following that episode.
Oh, wow.
Shit.
Yeah.
Did he really?
Yes, really.
Today, we're going to name names, we're going to speak truth to power, and yes, I'm going to expose people you admire. So, the NCI test, what is this thing? Well, NCI stands for Narrative Credibility Index, and Chase Hughes studied hundreds of psyops, government propaganda, corporate lies, social media manipulation, all of it. And he found 20 patterns that appear consistently in every psyop. Things like timing, emotional manipulation, tribalism, specific messaging. 20 questions, score each 1 through 5. Total above 70, that's a psyop. Below 40, probably legit. Between 40 and 70, that's the most dangerous of all, because that's a psyop based around the truth, but with an agenda. And that agenda is never to help you. Okay, that's the scoring system to keep in mind. 0 to 100. Here we go. October 10th, 1990. Now, fossils like me will remember this. A 15-year-old Kuwaiti girl named Maria testified before Congress. She was volunteering at a hospital when Iraqi soldiers stormed in.
The second week after an invasion, I volunteered.
Now, I'm a bit young for this, but Sammy, I know you're old. You might be old enough. Do you remember this at all? Do you know this story?
I know. Maybe as we go forward.
You guys in chat, let me know if you guys remember this.
Wait, this was 1990?
With 12?
Yes.
Yeah, dude, I was like 2 or 3.
For some reason I forget that we're actually much closer in age than I realized, just because you look so much more strapping and professional than me. It's the hair.
Other women. While I was there, I saw the Iraqi soldiers come into the hospital with guns. They took the babies out of the incubators. Took the incubators and left the children to die on the cold floor. It was horrifying. I could not help but think of my nephew, who, if born premature, might have died that day as well. The Iraqis have destroyed everything in Kuwait. They stripped the supermarkets of food, the pharmacies of medicine, the factories of medical supplies, ransacked their houses, and tortured neighbors and friends.
Now, Congress demanded action. Senators called for war. And a few months later, the United States was at war with Iraq. So let's run the test on that story.
So it's sort of funny that this is what we're covering this week. I actually was talking to my grandmother earlier today, and we were talking about Live Leak. If you guys remember what Live Leak was, and one of the things that came up in conversation is how Live Leak had the full, unedited, uncensored version of the execution of Saddam Hussein. And my grandma goes, "Oh man, I could watch that and not bat an eye." And I was like, "Oh, she's very interested in what we're talking about tonight."
Timing, 5 out of 5. Her testimony landed exactly when the Bush administration needed public support for a war that nobody wanted. Emotional manipulation, 5 out of 5. It doesn't get more emotional than dead babies. That's psychological napalm. Uniform messaging, 5 out of 5. Every news outlet told the story the same way, with the same language, same talking points. There was no independent reporting. Missing information, 5 out of 5. There were no other witnesses, no follow-up interviews, no verification allowed. Authority pressure, 5 out of 5. This was congressional testimony, not some rumor on Usenet.
Did you just say Usenet?
It was 1990. A lot of the internet in the 80s and 90s was Usenet, news groups.
No. I know what Usenet is. Let me ask you 2 questions, yeah?
Go ahead.
1, were you on the internet before 1990?
Yes.
2, could you find a date for prom?
No.
Uh-huh.
Now, we could run through all 20 questions for this, but you can already see the pattern. The final score was 88 out of 100. That's an overwhelming sign of a psyop, and that's exactly what it was, though we didn't know it at the time. 10 years later, the truth came out. Naria was the daughter of the Kuwaiti ambassador. There were no dead babies. She was never at the hospital.
It was all part of a campaign to turn Saddam Hussein, at least in the public consciousness, into Adolf Hitler.
Now, we're already in the woods here. Like the idea that, and by the way, yeah, this was 1990. If this was going on in 1990, and frankly, let's be real, it was going on way before this. And they'll cover even older examples of it as well as newer ones. But what's going on now? Well, what are the psyops you think we're dealing with now? I mean, everybody's reporting Epstein the same way. Everybody reported COVID the same way. What are some others? Just off the top of either y'all's dome.
Palestine.
Yes, Palestine. That's another one that's being actually. I would even argue that one's stranger because all of one side of the political aisle is covering it the same way, and all of the other sides. So you've got like conflicting psyops going on.
Yeah.
Well, it's not just that, but you have people who are supporting the Palestine thing, who they should know that they would be killed the moment they stepped on their land. So I just don't understand. Like, it never made sense to me.
Those people have fallen for the psyop. That's the thing. At least in my assumption. Like, for example, I think that when you see these dumb college kids, queers for Palestine at these college campuses, I don't think they would die if they set foot in Palestine. I think they have fallen for the psyop to the point where they don't realize it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So this is, I mean, we just blatantly allowed the ambassador of Kuwait's daughter to come in, lie, and when I say allowed it, because of course the people up top are in on it, to come in, lie, basically get America into a foreign war in the Middle East, using emotional manipulation like dead babies. I mean, let's be real. It came out 10 years later. What are we going to learn in 10 years about Epstein or COVID or whatnot? That's why, yeah, Congress can sign any fucking bill they want about, releasing the Epstein files. It is a joke right now. Maybe in 10 years we'll hear something.
With the shutdown and everything, I mean, they were definitely running a psyop with the Epstein files, and that abruptly came up. They really started knuckling down on that after Democrats really kind of lost their hat with the shutdown thing, and that's because their other psyop failed, where Trump can open up the government anytime he wants. And it's like, no, Republicans need 6 votes. You can tell anybody what you want, but the main narrative was that the president had shut the government down. And that's.
I'd go even further, and I would say the psyop is actually that it, by and large, the uniparty, the left and the right, were aligned. They wanted the government shut down because of people bitching about not being able to get their SNAP benefits. They're not paying attention to the machinations that are going on behind the scenes because they're too worried about their SNAP and stuff.
Sleight of a hand.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the feeling was that they couldn't sell the Gulf War without this. In other words, they had to cheat to win.
The NCI system predicted the lie a decade before anyone admitted to it. Over 100 Americans dead, 500 wounded, 30,000 Iraqis killed, and a bill to U.S. taxpayers of $1.3 trillion. Though it's closer to $1.9 trillion if you factor in the interest we had to pay to borrow the money to fight a war based on a lie. But where did the lie come from? A company that few Americans have ever heard of, but every politician and business person knows. The first Iraq War was the product of the PR agency Hill and Knowlton. And when you look into the history of Hill and Knowlton, you know what you find? A whole lot of dollars and a whole lot of death. The Gulf War wasn't the first time Hill and Knowlton weaponized public opinion for profit. New York City, winter of 1953. The executives of America's tobacco companies gathered at the Plaza Hotel. They had a problem.
This is a very well-known psyop. Let's see if you guys know if you can guess what he's talking about when it comes to these tobacco companies. Any idea? Very famous catchphrase, very famous tagline.
Well,
Is this the one where like even doctors recommend like Marlboros or something like that?
You're close. 4 out of 5 doctors choose Camel. Yep.
I was gonna say maybe this is when they started putting butts on cigarettes.
Oh no. I think butts on cigarettes was before this, but I could be wrong.
Had confirmed that cigarettes cause cancer. The research was simple and clear, and the public was starting to ask questions. And if this information got out, the entire industry would collapse. We're talking billions of dollars, millions of jobs, all gone overnight. So they called in a specialist. John W. Hill, co-founder of Hill & Knowlton, the PR firm that would later orchestrate the lie that dragged us into the Gulf War. Hill understood that doubt was more powerful than truth. People wanted to smoke. They like smoking. But if it was dangerous, most people would stop. But if it might be dangerous...
Now, let's talk about that for a moment. Let's scale it down. Let's talk about this in the realm of, like, current events, right? And when I say current events, I don't mean, like, Epstein or whatnot. I mean, like, for example, what, I do on YouTube. Like, by my estimation, hey, I talk about video games and fucking anime and shit like that. But then you got, individuals that, I consider legitimate grifters, people who do, let's say, similar content. But the live-action Legend of Zelda movie is a great example. We watched the video, me and Cindy, yesterday, and people were throwing a bitch fit that Zelda was in front of Link in the in the promotional material, right? And so people were like, "Oh, it's gonna be another woke girl boss movie." I good goddamn guarantee you, half the content creators on the right wing that are making videos about Zelda being in front of Link and everyone's gonna be, well, they know good goddamn well that's not how it works, but they want to plant the seed of doubt in the minds of their audience because it'll give them angry grifter money. Yeah. I mean, you're literally looking at a small scale psyop from from YouTubers. Just know that if we can just make my audience even a little doubtful, even a little angry about this upcoming movie, it'll make me money. That's the small. Just imagine this on a large global scale. That's what's being done.
I'd believe it. Like, just the fact that they're willing to jump to conclusions so quickly based on a simple picture that says nothing. It shows no movement, like what is happening in the scene. So it's just so easy to jump to conclusions. It's based on nothing.
Right, but my point is the people that make the videos, they didn't jump to that conclusion. They intentionally arrived there that way. Whether it's right or wrong, they know they can use that conclusion to put doubt in the heads of people that would follow them that don't want to think for themselves.
Yeah, they're rallying their base.
Exactly.
They'd keep smoking. So Hill and Knowlton worked their strategy. They formed the Tobacco Industry Research Committee, which sounds official and scientific, but it wasn't. The committee existed to create doubt, nothing else.
Ah, yes, doubt. The duct tape of corporate crime. Can't prove it safe? Make sure nobody can prove it's dangerous either. It's a beautiful thing in a completely evil sort of way.
I feel like
Hill and Knowlton funded studies designed to...
I feel like this guy does a wonderful Frankie Valli impression.
That was not where I thought that was going. All right.
Sorry.
Leon's selling saran wrap hats. It's not the same as tinfoil. But are you sure? Are you sure it won't work, Zax? Saran wrap might be even better than tinfoil. The science isn't out on which one will keep the alien probe brainwaves away from your noggin, away from your gray matter. Don't you think it's 5G. Worth buying the saran wrap sponsored by Leon just in case?
Leon's based saran wrap.
To muddy the waters. They hired scientists who would testify that more research was needed. They paid for ads saying the health risks weren't proven. And they made sure that phrase was heard over and over. No proof. No proof. Journalists believed they had a responsibility to show both sides. So the media gave equal airtime to tobacco-funded researchers and actual cancer specialists. That made it seem like a fair debate. But it wasn't, because one side was lying. 16 years later, an internal memo from Brown and Williamson spelled out the strategy in one sentence.
Doubt is our product, since it is the best means of competing with the body of fact that exists in the minds of the general public.
Doubt is the product.
Oh,
and the plan worked perfectly for years.
What you got, girly?
I just had a thought. So they're doing this, and then they also control like Google and search engines, right? So they're erasing history as we go. Oh my fucking goodness.
I would like to, I'll give you a very good example of exactly what you're talking about when it says to, when it talks about Google controlling things, Cindy. So, fascism definition. Fascism is a far-right, authoritarian, utilitarian nationalist political ideology characterized by a dictatorial leader in a single-party state, forceful suppression of opposition. Now, what part of this isn't true?
Far right.
Yeah, I was gonna say far
Bingo,
right.
bango, bongo. But to your average layman that sees the words fascist over and over on X and on CNN and on YouTube or whatever, and they're like, man, what is fascism? They Google fascism. Inherently, they tell you it's far right. Fascism is not far right, nor is it far left, by the way. Either side of the political aisle, as if, and by the way, there's more than just the left-right paradigm in the fucking world. The world isn't just revolve around the U.S. left-right paradigm, but the idea that fascism is inherently far right when it can be employed by any ideological side. But no, Google wants you to believe fascism is inherently far right. Why?
Yeah,
Because
if anything, it's far north. Like,
yes, honestly, yeah, you'd be correct. It's far north. But like, if someone is calling something fascist, if people are conditioned to believe that only the right can, be fascist, then the left can use fascistic, fascistic techniques, and it wouldn't be recognized as fascism because they're programmed to believe that fascism is inherently far right.
Yeah. Yes, they can use fascistic techniques fascistically.
Yes, fascistically. So yeah, bingo, Cindy, you nailed it.
So let's score it. Cherry-picked data, 5 out of 5. They only published studies that supported their narrative, studies that showed cancer risks were buried or attacked. Authority overload, 5 out of 5. They recruited credentialed scientists. They created fake research committees. They flooded medical journals with industry-funded papers. Suppression of dissent, 5 out of 5. Scientists who published research linking smoking to cancer were
Suppression of dissent. Man, I sure remember when you could go on X or YouTube or whatnot and say maybe COVID came from a lab and you were kicked off the fucking platform.
Oh yeah, or criticize any Democrat leader in any way, shape, or form. I mean,
criticize Israel. I mean, we see a whole lot of that recently.
Oh yeah,
criticize Israel and your ass is grass.
Well, I mean, even now.
I'd say Israel, in my opinion, is the current number one.
I agree.
Criticize Israel and your ass is grass.
Credited or had funding pulled. Financial gain, 5 out of 5. The industry made billions of dollars. So every year,
criticizing the transition of children, you criticize the transition of children, you get fired from your job, you're kicked off social media platforms, which the social gathering space in the modern age. 100% correct.
Year of delay meant billions of more dollars.
What cigarette do you smoke, Doctor? Once again, the brand named most was Camel. Yes, according to this repeated nationwide survey, more doctors smoke Camels than any other cigarette.
The final score, 82 out of 100. Clear signs of a psychological operation. And here's the proof. In the 1990s, whistleblowers leaked 30 million pages of internal tobacco documents. The memos spelled it all out. They knew cigarettes killed people. They knew nicotine was addictive, and they lied for 40 years. The NCI system predicted it decades earlier.
40 years of lying to the public? Those are rookie numbers. The Fed's been doing it since 1913.
Hecklefish ain't wrong. Shout out Maze Wolf, member for 4 months. Truly appreciate you, brother.
The Fed!
The fossil fuel industry used the same type of manufactured reality to cast doubt on global warming, which became climate change, which became controversial. And that's perfect. Remember, it doesn't matter if the climate is changing. What matters is that people keep fighting about it. The sugar industry said sugar played no role in diabetes or heart disease. They blamed fat instead. Remember when there was a lot of food labeled low fat?
This one I am old enough to remember. This was the attack on butter. This when you started getting, I can't believe it's not butter, or all these sort of vegetable oils that are far worse for you. I mean, you literally had big pharma and big sugar working together to poison us further by trying to tell us that butter was bad. When that way, big sugar can make all the money. Like this is documented and proven to be a psyop. Yeah, rapeseed oil, Scotty G. Agree. Now I look for soy-free. Hecklefish didn't kill himself. Yep. Yeah, dude. Big sugar, big butter. That was one of my big wake-up moments personally. I don't know if you guys bought in any of that or had any thought.
My mom did. Hook, line, and sinker. Drove me insane.
Yeah,
My grandmother to this day still does. I can't believe it's not butter. And I guarantee you, I don't care if it tastes better. It's terrible for you. That shit is terrible for you. It is killing you slowly. But it's certainly killing you faster than butter.
That was marketed as healthy, well, wasn't healthy at all. And you know what those low-fat products were loaded with? Sugar.
Oh,
now,
yeah.
opioids might be the most documented corporate psyop in modern history. False claims that OxyContin wasn't addictive. They paid doctors to lie. Scientific studies were written by PR agencies, not by scientists.
A source tells ABC News that Purdue offered a package that could be worth up to $10 to $12 billion. In a statement, the company explains that while Purdue Pharma is prepared to defend itself vigorously in the opioid litigation, it sees little good coming from years of wasteful litigation and appeals.
Dude, I've never been addicted to pills or anything like that. I've never even really done pain pills, right? When I was in the police academy, I got some broken ribs from wrestling with one of the other dudes, and we just went too hard, and I was prescribed, I think it was Percocet, when I went to the hospital for it, and I was so terrified of even possibly getting addicted to painkillers. I didn't take them. I just sold them instead. Somebody else.
I did the same thing. It was only like directly right after my knee surgery, like when I just absolutely positively couldn't take it anymore, is when I would take it. Otherwise, I would just give them to my buddies, because one, that stuff messes with my gut, and two, like I got an addictive personality, so like it's one of those things that, like, you're feeling pretty good. What's gonna stop you from doing this on a regular basis, asshole? It's just like, that little cricket on my shoulder. But dude, the pharmaceutical companies have been running like psyops like this for I was talking to someone the other day.
I would say our entire lives, for at least.
Oh, absolutely. But I think a lot of this transgender stuff is actually a psyop from the pharmaceutical companies. They have billions that they could be making, just with the hormone therapy. And,
you don't just get your fucking balls cut off, or you don't just get a fucking like dick sewn on or whatever, and all of a sudden you're good to go the rest of your life. No, you require constant treatment for life, whether it be estrogen pills or testosterone pills, whether it be regular checkups to make sure you ain't tearing at the seams or whatnot. You're exactly correct.
If left unchecked, they said it was going to be a $14 billion industry, just on its own.
Yeah, they found it like that, and that is the goal, dude. Big Pharma does not give a fuck. Look, I don't know who needs to hear this, trannies, but this is for you. Big Pharma doesn't give a fuck about you. You're not really trans. You have been brainwashed into thinking you're trans so that you can be a customer for fucking life.
Oh, man.
Different issues, same high NCI scores, same patterns of manipulation used for 100 years. But when those patterns went digital, there would be consequences that nobody predicted. Corporate psyops have been running for decades in print and on TV. Then social media put those same manipulation tactics in everyone's pocket. Ethiopia, November 2021. Professor Mayarig Amare taught chemistry. 60 years old, father of 4. He was Tigrayan living in the Amhara region during the Ethiopian Civil War. That made him a target. A Facebook page with 50,000 followers posted his photo. They called him a junta, accused him of being an enemy. They posted his home address. Now, his son reported the post to Facebook right away, multiple times, begged them to take the post down. No response. 3 weeks later, men followed the professor home from work. They executed him in front of his house. The killers chanted junta as they walked away, the same word from the Facebook posts. 8 days after the murder, Facebook finally responded and removed the posts. 8 days too late. Frances Haugen was a product manager at Facebook. She quit in May 2021, 4 months before this murder. She testified before Congress about what was happening in Ethiopia. She said the platform's algorithm was causing ethnic violence. Posts that made people angry got more engagement. More engagement meant more ad revenue. So the algorithm promoted hate. And everyone with a Facebook account knows this. Facebook employees warned executives the feds are asking questions. but nothing changed. Hagen said that conflicts fueled by Facebook.
Now, why would nothing change? Pop quiz.
Because they're making money.
Who's making money?
The
Facebook.
ad. No, the ad. Well, both the revenue.
You're both correct, but there's a third party that's also making money. The same politicians that are being paid, bought and paid for by Facebook and by these ad companies. The same politicians that the ad companies and that Facebook and all of them lobby.
Forgot about greasing the
get
palms.
bills, the laws passed. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You gotta remember, you gotta follow the money. So yeah, Facebook's making money off this. The ad companies make money off this, and the politicians are being paid off by Facebook and by the ad companies.
Well, think about it, because even now, like a lot of people just left Facebook because all it does is promote hate. It's still bad. It's even worse, I would say.
Oh, the internet made it exponentially worse. As much as the internet is a tool for beauty, and it does things like bring all of us vital idols here together, and it gives long-lasting friendships, like with the three of us here, the whole nine. The internet is a beautiful thing, but at the end of the day, it is a tool, and tools can absolutely be used for evil. And in fact, the internet has, because of the internet, we have such a rapid spread of psyop to degrees I would think have probably never been seen before.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'll hear things from, younger kids where, they just take things just like as fact, where, I mean, if you grew up like in our generation with the internet, you're kind of skeptical of certain things, but a lot of, it's the generation under us and like the generation a little bit older than us, like our parents' age. I mean, CNN, all of those people should be tried for like elderly abuse with the scare tactics.
Agreed. It's funny because Demon Carol in the comments just now said Facebook, he wagers Facebook is even worse than Twitter. And I agree. And the reason, because the user base, the main demographic for Facebook are older individuals, people our parents and grandparents' age, which are far less in the know about these sorts of modern day political and psychological stories. So it is far more easy to manipulate the elderly and to manipulate even our parents and whatnot, for the people that aren't paying attention. They're just using Facebook.
Did hundreds of thousands of deaths across multiple countries.
So there used to be a part of the company that was focused on making sure Facebook was a constructive force in the world, in society. Positive force in elections, that kind of thing. And they dissolved it right after the US 2020 election.
So let's score it. Emotional manipulation, 5 out of 5. The posts weaponize hate during a civil war. Uniform messaging, 5 out of 5. The same false claims spread across multiple pages and posts. Financial gain, 4 out of 5. Facebook's algorithm promoted hate because hate generates engagement. Engagement generates ad revenue. Missing information, 5 out of 5. There was no fact-checking, no verification, just viral hate. The final score, 78 out of 100. Strong signs of a psychological operation, but not run by a government, not run by a corporation selling cigarettes, run by an algorithm optimized for profit. Same patterns, same high scores, same deadly consequences. But now we're going to test something harder, because psyops aren't always black and white. Sometimes both sides of an argument use the same manipulation techniques, and that's when things get really dangerous.
Dueling banjos? Nah, son. Dueling psyops. Let's go. So you're worried about the future of our channels and show and everything just yet, Sammy?
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking I'm not going to wake up one of these mornings.
Next time you go on stage to play one of your shows, someone's going to whip out a blicky, and that's the end of your singing career.
Yep, that's oh no, I thought it was going to be one of the
Cindy is the smartest one of all of us. Cindy is anonymous here. No one knows who the fuck she is or where the fuck she is or whatnot. Me and you, we gonna die.
Yep.
Oh, goodness.
Algorithms can amplify manipulation from any side. Sometimes that means both sides of a debate score high for psyop tactics. Early 2020, COVID-19 was spreading and the world was shutting down. Scientists scrambled to understand where the virus came from, and two narratives emerged. Narrative 1, natural origin. The virus jumped from animals to humans at a seafood market in Wuhan. This happens. SARS did it, MERS did it. It's called zoonotic spillover, and it's normal. Narrative 2, lab leak. The virus escaped from the Wuhan Institute of Virology, a few miles from that market. That lab studied bat coronaviruses. Maybe an accident happened. Both seemed plausible. Both needed investigation. Then, on February 19th, 2020, The Lancet published a letter signed by 27 prominent scientists. The letter said anyone who claimed the virus was a lab leak was a conspiracy theorist. That shut down.
That's a very fancy way to say profit. P-R-O-P-H-E-T, not P-R-O-F-I-T, profit, like you can see the future. Because, yes, it's common knowledge now that Wuhan, the coronavirus, the COVID-19 was a lab leak. How many of y'all were saying that from the beginning? Because I certainly was, from the fucking jump.
Oh, yeah, no, I was. Yeah.
Yeah, no, my favorite psyop on that was not only were you conspiracy theorists, you were racist. And I was like, I don't even understand.
You're right. They did call you racist for that. You hated the Asian world, apparently, if you said it came from a lab.
Although when Trump called it the Kung Flu, that didn't really help.
I did quite enjoy Kung Flu.
I so did I, but I mean, it didn't help push the narrative that we weren't racist.
Yeah, I actually wrote a parody of All Star by Smash Mouth about COVID-19 when it was like when the lockdowns first went into like effect and whatnot. I wonder if I still have it written down somewhere. I'll send it to you sometime, like what the lyrics were. It was fun.
Yeah. Debate immediately.
Anyone can say anything, right? It's conspiracy theories. Everybody has a theory.
The letter showed up on every news network. Social media platforms flagged lab leak posts as misinformation. Some users were thrown off the platforms. One side said natural origin is the only scientific answer. The debate is over. So let's score that campaign. Suppression of dissent. 5 out of 5. Scientists were afraid to discuss lab leak publicly. It was career suicide. Authority overload. 5 out of 5. 27 scientists in the Lancet letter. And a quirky little man named Fauci worked for the government said that he was the science.
And it's not the first time he's done that. Sammy, tell us all about the 90s AIDS revolution.
Oh yeah. Basically, he told everybody that he called it gay cancer, did he not?
He did.
Sorry, go for it. What was that, Cindy?
No, they did. They called it gay cancer.
Yeah, Fauci
Or the gay epidemic or something. Sorry.
And to be fair, there was a massive outbreak, specifically amongst gays and whatnot. But that's the point is, yeah, Fauci was directly responsible for another viral psyop just 20 years prior.
Yeah, there's a special place in hell for Fauci. Like he really
completely
is.
agreed.
Fucking monster.
Turns out AZT wasn't safe and effective. Who knew?
They're really criticizing science because I represent science.
Uniform messaging. 5 out of 5. Every outlet said the lab leak was a debunked conspiracy theory, word for word.
The sharing of biased and false news has become all too common on social media.
I've seen this.
Yeah, someone tried to say this was someone tried to use this again recently, and it was like no. This is under a different what do you call it? Administration. This is not recent, and by the way, this has been going on for
someone
decades.
Tried to say this was, okay, gotcha.
But I'm saying this has been going on for decades. As someone who I work.
Yeah, you can find compilations of these that date back to the 90s.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, I worked at CBS radio, man. Like there were times where you would get hard copy from the network, and you were required to read it and you have to understand that a lot of these networks are owned by conglomerates, so it's not just one. They don't just have like a sister station. There's 30 of them, and they're all reading the same message. Doesn't matter if it's NBC or ABC, or it doesn't matter. If the company owns it and they want you to put the message out, you're gonna read it, and that's the way it is. And so the news is not what you think it is.
Well,
news is not news at all. It is state-funded programming and propaganda. Sorry, what were you saying, Cindy?
I was going to say Sammy's first because he has insider knowledge.
Oh, there were times where it was terrifying.
Gosh, that is creepy.
Dangerous to our democracy.
Missing information, 4 out of 5. Critical details were hidden, like the fact that the letter was organized and signed by Peter Daszak. His organization, EcoHealth Alliance, funded research at the Wuhan lab. He did not disclose that, but his emails prove it. Financial gain.
Wow, that's pretty crazy. The dude whose organization was, helped fund the creation of the coronavirus in the Wuhan lab, signed a paper saying there's no way it could have came from the Wuhan lab. I'm gonna trust that guy.
What a quinky dink.
4 out of 5. If the lab leak was true, funding for gain-of-function research would be at risk. So the Natural Origin is Settled Science campaign scored 70 out of 100. That's a Psyops score. But now score the other side, the lab leak. Those supporters said the lab leak was obvious. Anyone who denied it was a shill or an asset for the Chinese Communist Party. Authority overload, 5 out of 5. Politicians and commentators were saying Settled Science before any real investigations were complete. Tribal division, 5 out of 5. They made it a political issue. And by the way, that's how I knew COVID was a psyop from the start. Anytime you see an issue politicized that initially wasn't, it's probably intentional. Remember, at first, all we cared.
So what are some things that, political, that were initially not political issues that have been made into them? Again, I think the very obvious one is transgenders. Was that a fucking political issue in the 90s? I know I was young, but I don't remember hearing a whole lot on the news about transgenders.
No. Tu Wong Fu. They even had movies about it. Not that they were transgender, but that they were cross-dressers. They were accepted. Right. People loved them. I mean, it was a great movie. This is crazy.
Yeah, The Birdcage, Mrs. Doubtfire.
Yeah.
Ace Ventura. I mean, there's now. Granted, a lot of times when you got like transgender representation, it was usually like when someone was like getting locked up and there would be like a transvestite smoking a cigarette, like, "Hey baby," and like that would be like the only representation you got. But there were movies where like it was treated seriously and you understood that there were people like that, not to the mass scale that we see now. That absolutely another one is
no, go back to that, Cindy. Yes, Bridget, you should be concerned. Not for people like me or Sammy or Cindy or anything like that. You should be concerned as to why, and I truly mean this. For those of you in the chat that don't know, Bridget's transgender. Bridget, and frankly, I don't feel bad saying that because you've been pretty fucking open about it. So yes, you should be concerned. You should be concerned as to why, if you look back throughout all of modern history, this only became a political issue over the last 10 years or so. And if you say it's because of one side of the aisle and not the other, congratulations, you've been brainwashed. Once again, uniparty psyop. We can say the same thing about the war on terrorism. Oh, wait, you telling me the left and the right, people who notoriously fight with each other, all of a sudden just decided to agree because some planes flew into a building that miraculously got insured just a couple of days before by some wealthy billionaire? Like, wait, and they agreed to go bomb the fuck out of a country that wasn't even actually involved in the act of terrorism? Yeah, Bridget, you should be concerned. You should be concerned as to why the government is deciding to use you as a tool for political propaganda.
Yeah, I mean, take a look. Venezuela is going to be the new Iraq.
You are probably correct.
About was a cure or a treatment, but we needed to know the origin of the virus to fight it. But suddenly a health issue became a political issue. Cherry-picked data, 4 out of 5. Lab leak supporters only discussed research that supported their side. Emotional manipulation, 4 out of 5. Anger at China. COVID is a political issue. Turned Americans against each other. The lab leak is obvious campaign scored 66 out of 100. Again, that's a Psyops score. Both sides scored high. You were being manipulated from both directions. Now, the NCI system doesn't know which side is right. It doesn't care. It tells you when someone is trying to control what you think. High scores on both sides of an issue mean you never get an honest debate. You get information warfare. Look for the patterns. They are there. And they apply to everything controversial from 100 years.
Lab leak is a psyop as well. Now, I would say that is the very obvious answer, by the way. I think that something can be true and still be a psyop, and that's the crux of this. So lab leak can be a psyop while still also being true. The whole point is just to divide, to make you come under a thought process that you didn't reach yourself, but instead were just told and believed.
Yeah, it's just how the information is distributed and how they intend it to affect the people.
Yeah. Psyop doesn't mean lie. It's just a way to get you to think the way they want you to think. Weaponizing a lie is one thing. Weaponizing the truth is even worse.
Years ago to right now. For example, let's talk about UFOs.
I thought that was you for a second.
The same manipulation patterns appear.
Why were them striking channels down for saying COVID or talking about being an op? Soul assassin. So you got two warring, conflicting sides when it comes to the COVID stuff, right? You've got the right wing, they were the lab leak bros, and you've got the left wing, they were the natural, it came from a wet market bros, right? So the right wing obviously wanted to control the narrative around the lab leak. Google, YouTube, all the social media sites, those are all owned by left-wing apparatuses. So you've got the media companies, big tech, all these traditionally left-leaning institutes. So yes, people were getting their channels taken down. They were getting banned on social media or whatnot because the side that controlled the wet market psyop didn't want people talking about the right-wing lab leak psyop. So that would be why you have the right-wing mindset in a left-wing infested area. However, you could easily say the same was happening in reverse. If you went, I good goddamn guarantee you went to a Trump rally and you believe, it doesn't matter if you have all the right conservative opinions. If you believe that coronavirus came from a wet market, you'd have been laughed out that bitch.
Sparkles is just trashing this dude in the.
He is. Yeah, men wear makeup when they're on, when they're on camera and stuff. That's completely fucking normal.
Here in every controversial topic,
he sounds like Billy
including
West.
UFO disclosure. January 2025, Jake Barber stepped forward as a whistleblower. Former Air Force Special Ops, combat control, helicopter pilot. He told News Nation he worked on secret UFO retrieval missions for 30 years. Barber described flying a helicopter to recovery sites, lifting objects from the ground. One night, he got within 150 feet of something he'd never seen before. An egg-shaped craft, white, metallic, about the size of an SUV, no engine, no thermal signature. News Nation verified his credentials. 3 other military vets backed up his story on camera. Russ Coldhart, the journalist covering it, said the footage was about to change everything. But he said that before. This is why I'm skeptical of UFO whistleblowers. Their stories always have high PSYOP scores. So let's score Jake Barber. Timing, 5 out of 5. The story broke in January right before Trump's inauguration, during massive drone sightings over military bases. The perfect moment for maximum attention. Overuse of novelty, 5 out of 5. Look for hyperbolic words and phrases.
Y'all remember all them drones over Jersey that just magically fucking disappeared after a week of it being the only thing covered on the news? I still wonder what happened to that fucking story.
I feel like everybody knew that one was more of like a psyop type thing.
Right. I agree. I think the vast majority of people, at least in our sphere, at least on X, at least amongst the young crowd, knew it was a psyop, but we don't know what it was covering up.
Well, that's the thing too. It was like you can always kind of tell. Like I often wonder if that's a failed psyop because like it went away so quickly, or was it just like a one-shot thing?
I think it was successful in that even though we knew it was a psyop, I mean, does anybody know what they were distracting us from? We knew it was a distraction, but it still technically succeeded in distracting us because we don't know what it was covering up. I mean, unless you guys do have ideas.
I think it just temporarily wanted people in New Jersey to forget that they live in New Jersey.
I don't know. I feel like it's also a look over here and not over here type thing.
Yeah, no, it's a sleight of hand thing for sure.
Although, if what Sammy is saying is true, it truly would be the first noble psyop, just getting people in Jersey to forget they lived in Jersey. Like, oh, wow, you can't do psyop.
Just for a week.
Like unprecedented, groundbreaking, could change the world. Uniform messaging, 4 out of 5. Non-human craft, non-human biologics, government secrecy. All news reports use the same wording. Financial gain, 5 out of 5. Barber formed a company called Skywatchers LLC around the time he came out as a whistleblower. His company will conduct scientific studies of anomalous aerial phenomena. Now, we don't know whether he'll charge a fee for this, but get ready to have your mind blown. He's working on a book.
There's always a book.
There's always a book. Missing information, 4 out of 5. News Nation teased footage but showed very little of it. There's no way to verify it. Cherry-picked data, 4 out of 5. Jake Barber doesn't have the training for covert ops, but he says he'll testify under oath. Also, that video footage, it wasn't his.
And spaceship that looks like it belongs to Mork from Ork, 5 out of Nanu.
Yep.
The score, 63 out of 100. Strong likelihood of a psyop. But here's the complication. A high score means manipulation, not true or false. The reality of UFOs comes down to one of 3 things. 1, disclosure is real, but it's being packaged, meaning the government is revealing the truth, but using psyop techniques to control how, when, and what we're allowed to know. Option 2, it's a full psyop. Classified aircraft testing needs a cover story. UFOs are perfect. As long as we're debating whether a craft is from Zeta Reticuli or Gliese, we're not asking Lockheed or Raytheon what they're up to. Option 3, it's a distraction. Remember all the drones flying over the bases for weeks? That was the real story. But a UFO story pops up and captures attention. And notice how the drone story just vaporized? Since 2017, this disclosure narrative.
And the question is, which of those do you guys think it is? Like, is it true that slowly but surely we're being drip-fed real UFO disclosure, but they need to do it slowly because the public needs to be gently nudged in the direction of UFOs, of alien life? Huh?
Spoon-fed.
Yeah. Or is it option number 2? No UFO shit at all. It's all military stuff. However, the UFO stuff is a distraction. And like you said, option 3 is that it's I guess option 3 was the distraction one. Option 2 was to just throw us off the track of Raytheon, Lockheed Martin, Boeing, things of that effect. Either way, I don't know. To me, any of those 3 things seem plausible.
Yeah.
I guess you guys don't have a thought as to which one it is.
No, I think all of them just
right, because they're all so plausible. No, that's what I'm saying. It's like because they're all so plausible, it's hard to pick one.
I don't know. I feel like the UFO thing is like the biggest red herring.
You might be right.
Narrative has been building. David Grush, Lou Elizondo, congressional hearings, leaked videos. Each story scores high for manipulation tactics, but each could still contain some truth. And that's the gray area, where facts and psyops blend together, where high scores don't give you easy answers. The NCI score shows you how information is delivered. You still have to decide whether you believe it or not. And that's what makes this so hard. Who can you trust to tell you the truth?
We see people going out on podcasts and stuff that have talking points from the government.
Do you believe our government has made contact with intelligent extraterrestrials?
Based Richard Doty reference, Bobby Blankenship. I knew you a real one, son. For those of you guys that don't know, Richard Doty is the main government funded disinformation agent for UFOs. So back when UFO stuff was popping off in the 70s to the 90s, there's a government employee named Richard Doty who was literally paid by, I believe, the Pentagon to go into these alien UFO conventions and disclose all this information. And it was all lies by the government. And it was just so distrust amongst UFO believers and whatnot, so they didn't know what was true and what wasn't.
Nice.
We need to do an episode on Richard Doty.
That
thing I
great.
Can't discuss in public setting.
So this is 33 was the first documented.
That is the earliest one I can talk about. Yeah.
There's something that predates that?
You could infer that.
And if you have someone that has talking points from the government, that's a spokesperson, not a whistleblower. If I'm sitting here and I say, well, I can't say this, but I can tell you this one thing, that's a controlled government release of information.
Psychological.
Now, here's the question. Here's the $1 million question. So homeboy is going on the Sean Ryan show. And he's telling you all about, psyops and whatnot. Why would the government let him live to tell those secrets unless he himself was also still committing a psyop.
Yeah. They wouldn't allow you anywhere. You get disappeared. if you were talking about things that they wanted under wraps, you wouldn't be saying them. And I love when they say things like, yeah, you can infer that. And was like, you already know that information is being controlled because no one talks that way. You know, it was a yes or no question.
Operation Bluebeam. Yep, we've covered that one, Anglo.
Yeah. Okay, the only time I'm used to getting talked to like that is when I ask my wife where she wants to eat.
Weapons being used against you. So use the NCI scoring system as a countermeasure to manipulation. It's a 20-point test. That's it. It's just a number. No partisan politics, no agenda. Download it now and start using it on news coverage, corporate messaging, government statements, social media campaigns, anything. Once you see the pattern, you'll see it everywhere. Every news story will look suspicious. Every expert will seem bought. And everything you hear will sound manufactured. And that's exactly what the real power in America wants. They want us suspicious of each other. They want us divided, because that division creates paralysis. And that is a meta-psyop. Now, I want you to really hear what I'm about to tell you. Every time you fight about politics on Facebook...
Now, we're going to run this back for a moment. This is the part a lot of you guys are not going to want to hear. I didn't like hearing it either. It unfortunately is the truth, but I will say with a caveat. So I'm going to let him play this whole section uninterrupted. Then me, Sammy, and Cindy will give some thoughts. But I guarantee you nobody's going to like to hear this next part. But I would say personally it is true.
Now, I want you to really hear what I'm about to tell you. Every time you fight about politics on Facebook or X or anywhere, you are being manipulated. So stop it. Remember, anger gets more clicks. And Americans hating each other means we're not watching the powerful, and we're not asking the real questions.
Nah, like what really happened to Epstein.
I told you we're not going to...
Release the files!
But that's exactly my point. We need to focus on the things that unite us, not divide us.
Yeah, what you talking about, human?
Think of it this way. Two neighbors. One is a stuffy conservative. The other is a bleeding heart liberal. Now, those two neighbors have very different views on abortion, education, guns, just about everything. So they fight about all those things.
Yeah, I think I had those guys over for Thanksgiving. Exhausting, sheesh.
Right. But you know what those two neighbors with very different political opinions want? They both want to know the truth about UFOs. They both want to know the truth about COVID.
The truth about Epstein!
That's exactly right. It's that simple. That's what unites us. The truth.
Well, that and bacon.
You're stepping all over my dramatic ending, pal.
I'm just saying, everybody loves bacon. Let's start a Bacon Unites movement. Pork, nature's candy.
Not Israel. Oh, wait, not the Muslim.
Psychological operations are running all around us all the time. Everyone is trying to control how you think. But I gave you a tool to fight back, and I showed you how it works. What you do now is up to you. And I don't think I can end with a better message than Sean does in his own Psyops series.
So, before we get into what Sean's ending, and then we'll talk about this stuff, and then I wanted to run the PSYOP test on something different. Yeah, look, liberals are fucking retarded, in my opinion. We all know this. Frankly, conservatives are fucking retarded as well. I'm an anarchist, but by and large, I'm at least more morally aligned with oftentimes people on the right. That being said, it's very easy to argue with people, and I even made the argument on Gooch's show. You can't just sit down and have conversations with people that want you dead. They shot Charlie Kirk to the fucking neck. By and large, that's true. I think there are people, the vast majority of which, so far down the PSYOP rabbit hole, so far controlled, brainwashed, manipulated, they are a lost cause. But that doesn't necessarily mean everyone is, and if you can find the individuals that are willing to engage in good faith dialogue, that do want to consider other points of view, left, right, whatever, I think it's a worthy endeavor. But also, you can't do it with everyone. In fact, I'd say you can't do it with I hesitate to say, but with a majority nowadays.
I know you can't. That's also kind of like, I feel like it's kind of like you have to have a trustful society to be able to do most things, and we definitely can't have that because we're not Japan for sure. We're not close knit at all. I feel like it's the same thing.
Sammy, what about you?
Yeah, well, I mean, Like I've said many times, it's a spectrum. If you go too far right, too far left, you're not fun at parties anymore. But it's we should be trying to get to the bottom of things, which is the truth. I often find that a lot of people on the other side of the spectrum as me, like, we usually want the same things. No one wants to see anybody be homeless or go hungry or anything like that. It's just we have different ideas of how going about them. I don't think you should be a slave to the state, or and also, like, the government sucks at everything. I know because I work for the government. It's I wouldn't want them in charge of my health care or anything. But yeah, it's in today's climate, you have to like wade through a lot of misinformation and a lot of like quick tempers and everything. So if you can find someone that you can on the other side that you can actually have a conversation with, you should embrace it and try to find some middle ground, because middle ground is getting smaller and smaller and smaller.
That being said, I am still going to dunk on liberals on X when I can make a very good
Absolutely.
joke.
Of course.
I'm legitimately going to taper off my arguing, and I have been doing that. Like, I've been arguing with people less and less and less. I will give one-liners and zingers because, like, let's be real. We all want to be a comedian.
Yeah, I've actually been trying to like stem for, like, the first thing I would do in the morning is like wake up and just start like trashing people on Twitter, like before I was like, because like I'm still grumpy, like I still got that fire in me, because like I don't want to get up. I hadn't had my coffee yet, and I was like, I gotta stop doing that, because like I'll go back, and then by like when I check my Twitter again around noon, I'll go, fuck, that was a little harsh. Like, it was just like, it's just getting out of the habit. We should get into the habit of like talking to each other with respect. I mean, if you're going to dunk on somebody though, I mean, make it catastrophic,
Right.
But,
exactly.
Go for the gold.
Yeah. Go for big air if you're going to do it. But, don't just be like bot and then move on. No, it was like, you make it crippling, you make it concise, and you get out.
Yep. Couldn't agree more. All right, let's wrap this
well,
up.
hold on, real
Go
quick.
for it, Sandy. Yeah, go for it.
I'll be honest with you. That's kind of why I don't post a whole lot on any kind of social media. It felt like trying to yell into the void that everybody else is screaming in, and no one has a good point because everybody's trying to take care of everybody else.
Great. Sorry, go on, Sandy.
You're just retarded. We just kind of roll with it. But like, it felt so pointless and needless because everybody is just saying, hey, care about the other person, but do it my way.
Yes.
And it's not helpful. It does nothing. And it felt unproductive. Yes, it does get me clicks. Yes, it does get me views, but until I have something to actually say, I'm only saying the same things over and over and over again, repeating the same things that other people are trying to say that still believe in what I believe in. So it just felt absolutely pointless. And to me, hearing all this, it's like, yeah, I think I was right in making that assumption on how I feel.
You're right, because I've looked I point to how we met.
Let me finish.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
Do I need to post more? Yes, but I need to be more selective on what it is I post. I don't need to be shouting at other people. I can just talk about my own stuff.
Yeah, I agree with that completely. All righty, let's go ahead and finish this video out. And then I want to run the Psyop test. Sammy, I'm gonna need your help with that on something I've found very interesting on X over the last 48 hours.
This series started by asking who is pulling the strings. Maybe the real question should be, why do we keep handing them over?
Thank you so much for hanging out with me today.
That's the end of the video. I'm going to go ahead and link it in the chat for you guys. It's also in the description. Again, I highly recommend this channel. I think this is, this channel was the inspiration for tinfoil haters. But also, it's just, it's great to just remind yourself of the Psyop stuff now and again. Quite important, in my opinion. So now, Sammy, you said you had the Psyop test up on your PC, right?
Yeah. I just really like his videos because he sounds like Billy West, and like listening to Doug Funny talk about conspiracy theories like just tickles me to no end. But yes, I have it pulled up.
Excellent. So I'm going to share with you guys something I've been seeing a lot over the last 48 hours on X. Now, mind you, X has political propaganda all the time. You got political propaganda from the left, from the right, from Israel, from Ukraine, from Russia. But you know who I never really saw political propaganda from, oddly enough, at least not since Elon took over?
What's that?
Who?
China. Not directly from China. I'm sure China is running a lot of psyops. In fact, I think China and Russia are to blame for all the modern day wokeism and stuff like that. However, by and large, China's not very overt with their propaganda. However, let me read you guys just a handful. By the way, I only thought to start clicking bookmark within the last about, say, 16 to 18 hours. I've been seeing this constantly for the last, say, 48. So, honest question, if Chinese loans are so bad, why can't America survive without them? This is Sonny Tang, born in Vietnam, grew up in Europe, live in Asia. All right, so hold on. We got him again. No country on earth has caused more global death in the last 100 years than the United States. Not China, not Russia, not any empire of the state. What about Zhao Dushai? First of all, it's liberation. Second, who says anything about boots on the ground? Just destroy their 2 LNG terminals, 7 commercial ports, mainly cranes. Talk about the reserve oil tanks. The island to the left. The island is left without the ability to import energy, food, stockpiles. Basically, it's giving a tactical way of how to take out Taiwan. And when you look at where this came from, it's responding to the Taiwanese people, democratically elected governments that do not want to be invaded by the authoritarian mainland China regime, which is no respect for basic human rights. So anyway, point is, so we got Zhao here, more Chinese propaganda. You're lecturing China about cultural genocide from a country that erased 500 plus indigenous nations, ran residential schools, banned native languages, sterilized native women without consent well into the 1980s. The U.S. didn't preserve culture, it criminalized it. So basically, again, we've got more Chinese propaganda here. Let's see. I'm pretty sure I had... Oh, right. Nuri Vitali. Everything Japanese is really Chinese. Seriously. Ramen, give us an example. Japanese writing, kimono, blossom trees, sushi. All right, so just gave this long list how everything from Japan is originally Chinese. Let's see. Do I have... I'm pretty sure I have more. No, okay. So I saw a lot more. But again, off the top of my head, just the ones that I bookmarked in the last little bit. So now, pull up the test, Sammy. Let's go ahead and let's run this China stuff through the PSYOP test. So what's the first step?
Timing.
All right. What would you say? Now, does it explain how to rank it on the scale between 1 and 5?
Hold on. I gotta. 1 and 5, not present, overwhelmingly present.
Overwhelmingly present. Okay, so what's going on right now in the world? With what's going on in the world right now, would you say that the timing for Chinese propaganda? Where would you rate that on a scale of 1 to 5?
But like what? Like a 3?
I would.
I was actually going to go 4.
Yeah,
okay.
I was too.
All right, so we got 4. All right, what's the next? What's the next category?
Emotional manipulation.
Oh, that's
emotional manipulation. So let's look at some of the wording here.
Oh yeah.
If Chinese loans are so bad, why can't America survive without them? Let's see. We've got no country on earth has caused more global death in the last 100 years than the United States. Not China, not Russia. All right. First of all, it's liberation. Second, something about boots on the ground. Destroy their 2 LNG terminals, 7 commercial ports. Then a little bombing from the air here and there. So yeah, I would say that's quite emotionally manipulative. You're lecturing China about cultural genocide from a country that erased 500 plus indigenous nations, ran residential schools, banned native languages. I think that we're already at a 5 on the emotional manipulation scale for this one.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, no,
so,
well, even
Russia. Meanwhile, being in a
that
war.
one where like everything Japanese is actually Chinese. Chinese is actually really good. All those things you like from Japan, there's actually from China.
Yeah, but haven't they been promoting China, right, for like the last, I don't know, four years or so? Like everybody was like, I'm gonna move to China because the US really fucking sucks.
No, I think most people said like Canada and stuff. Although maybe there's
not the
by the way,
wokies. You remember
Hassan
they were like, hey,
I
I'm
was
gonna
about to say Hassan.
Yeah, they're gonna learn Chinese and move on. Like especially when they decided they were gonna try and shut down TikTok once. They all were like panicking and they're like, well, we're moving to China. I don't know. I just remember hearing about it.
By the way, Scotty G, that is a component of it. Yeah, Sana Takaichi getting elected in Japan and being ardently anti-China is a large component of this. All right, Sammy, so what's the next one? We're up to 9 points so far.
Uniform messaging.
Uniform messaging. Well, I think that's a 5. Every
this is
single one of these, all the exact same uniform messaging. So we're at a 5. So that's
And
what are we at?
on a side note for that, that's why I love when you see like accounts like JoJo from Jersey and Harry Simpson and like all of them,
right,
where it was
all
like
the uniform messaging for the
oh
left.
my god, it was just like, dude, like tell me you're not reading from a script. Here's an interesting one for the next one. Missing information.
Missing information. Damn, there's one that I wish I'd have bookmarked that covered this brilliantly. I literally saw a post from a Chinese individual earlier claiming that China didn't have a social credit score.
Oh,
what?
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, missing
really
information.
one of the most
So, you know
famous things known about China.
right. Honest question here: if Chinese loans are so bad, why can't America survive without them? I would say information is missing. I would say that we can survive without them. In fact, we had an entire country that survived without them for many, many, many years up until about the 1960s. So let's see. We've got no country on earth has caused more global death in the last 100 years than the United States.
Isn't China the one freaking out over the tariffs the most?
That's because of the ones being tariffed the hardest.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, so yeah, we've got missing information here about the more global death in the last 100 years in the United States because there's no sources or anything to back up the statement. I don't know enough about the ongoing current events in Taiwan to say there's missing information in this one. So I'm safe from commenting.
There's
on
a
that
big
one.
like kerfluffle going on with like the UN. China has like a huge problem when they mention Taiwan, like proper, like
Taiwan does not acknowledge China does not acknowledge Taiwan as a sovereign state. China acknowledges Taiwan as a piece of as a property of the CCP as just more China. So yeah, where do we think we're at on missing information for the Chinese one?
Well, like I said, I don't know what we're missing, so probably a 3.
I don't know. China is very tight-lipped about what's going on in politics, so
Right.
I do believe it's higher.
Well, let's be conservative and say 3. That still puts us at so far at 17. All right, what's the next one?
Simplistic narratives. 5.
5. Absolutely a 5. So that puts us at 22. What are we up to? What are we up to next?
You're gonna love this one. Tribal division.
Oh yeah.
5.
5.
All right. So that puts us up to what, 28?
Uh-huh. Authority overload.
5.
5.
32. Go on.
Call for urgent action.
This one I would honestly score lower with the information we have just here on X. I don't know if so. Oh shit! For those of you guys in the chat, you guys are saying 5 again. Call for urgent action because again, I'm not as up to speed on what China is saying in regards to the Taiwan stuff. So because it's going up to Taiwan. All right, you know what?
Okay.
Let's meet in the middle. We'll say 4, and that'll put us at. What were we at? We were at 38 before. Was like
you were at 38 or were we at 35, weren't you?
35. Okay, so we're at 30. We'll say 39. What? All right. What's the next one?
Next one is. What was the last one? Oh, never mind. I found it. I'm good. I can read. Overuses of novelty. I would say that's a 5.
I would say it's a 5.
Yeah, that's the. I mean, the first 2 posts you showed, like, basically said the exact same thing. The novelty is the scroll up. What is the?
The first post was. Honest question: if Chinese loans are so bad, why can't America survive without them? And then the same dude posted, "No country on earth has caused more global death in the last 100 years."
Yeah, the novelty is China's not as bad as the U.S.
Right. Okay. All right. So that puts us. Well, so mind you, that puts us at 44. So we're already out of the realm. Remember, anything 40 or lower is likely not a psyop. Anything between 40 and 70 is a psyop with truth to it. So we're already in the psyop with truth to it section. because we're at 44. Let's see if we can get above 70. Let's go. All right. What's the next
You're going to get much better with this one, Broham. Financial or political gain.
Fucking 5. All right. We're at 49. What's the next one?
Suppression of dissent. It's China.
Okay. 54.
Yep. Let's keep going.
False dilemmas.
I would actually say we 100% have false dilemmas here. They're trying to paint the Taiwan China thing as like a both sides issue, presenting a false dilemma. This initial post here, talking about America not being able to survive without Chinese loans as a false dilemma. The fact they're saying that the tariffs that Trump has sanctioned against China is a negative is a false dilemma. I would say that's. Would you say 5 or would you say 4?
I would say 5 for sure.
All right, so we're up to 59.
Bandwagon effect.
This all these posts started happening within the last 48 hours, and several of them are by supposedly non-Chinese actors. So yes, I would also say 5. All right, we're up to 64.
Emotional repetition.
Oh yeah.
5. We're up to 69.
Nice.
Cherry picked data.
Fucking A. Okay.
74.
We'll keep going to see how high we can get the number, but just so you know, we have crossed the threshold from psyop that has truth to it to full on psychological operation. So we're up to 74. Let's keep going.
Cherry picked data.
No, I think we got that one already.
Oh, logical fallacies.
Didn't we do that one?
No, we
Wait,
did.
Okay. No, somebody in
logical
chat said
fallacies.
logical fallacies.
Yes.
So logical fallacy. Chat, I'll take your thoughts on this one as well as you guys on the panel here, because I don't know how we would score logical fallacies. I'm not well read enough on it to score that one myself.
It's just when he's asking, all of these, technically are logical fallacies, where it's kind of like you have to do mental gymnastics to make it like true in your head. So they're saying like, hey, Taiwan is part of China, and it was like, well, no, it's an island.
A logical fallacy is an error in reasoning that makes an argument invalid, even if it seems convincing on the surface. Okay, you know what? Yeah, you're right. I think we actually score that one a 5 pretty easy.
Yeah.
79.
All right, 79.
Manufactured outrage.
84.
Well, this one's interesting. Are they manufacturing outrage, or are they actually doing the opposite? They're manufacturing an attempt to get people to be docile. Like Hassan isn't manufacturing outrage. He's actually doing the opposite with his trip to China.
But mention Taiwan, and then I would have to instantly disagree.
Scotty G also makes a good point. I think the outrage is genuine.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the outrage is genuine, but I was like, but if you say something, that's why I say Hassan's a poor example, because that man manufactures outrage in me in no matter what he does, whether it's shocking his dog or just going to China. No, the outrage is genuine, but if you're manufacturing more of it, which you could do by just posting something stupid, that doesn't mean that the outrage isn't genuine. That just means that
that's true. All right, you make a good point. Why don't we call this one a 4? I don't know, because I don't know that I'm seeing
I agree, because I think they are trying to put the knife in slowly. They're
okay. Then we'll call this one a 4, and that puts us at what are we at, Cindy?
83.
83. Okay, we're at 83.
Framing techniques.
Oh, okay. 5. Well, that's a 5. 88.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're already seeing this. Historical parallels.
That's a 5.
So that's it.
Is that the last one on the list?
Yeah, that was the last one on the list.
93.
We're at 93
metrics. 93. Mm-hmm. We on X currently are experiencing a full-on psyop by China as it currently stands. Now, for those of you guys that use X on a regular basis like I do, I'm curious, are you seeing all these same pro-China posts? It can't just be my algorithm. They came out of nowhere. I don't talk about China. I don't talk about the current events going on in China. All the politics I cover are mostly Western world politics, whether it be America, whether it be even the UK and whatnot. Actual Freedom Expression Warrior says yes. Now, mind you, Actual Freedom Expression Warrior, he's a lefty. He's one of the few left-leaning viewers we have. So you know what? On the complete opposite side of the ideological spectrum, and he is seeing the same stuff on X. Interesting.
I see these, and maybe I just haven't noticed them. I've been seeing way more on like the subject of Islam in the West. Is my
I've been seeing I've been seeing a lot of that as well.
What I'm saying, maybe I'm getting bombarded with that, and these are just getting peppered in because I'm getting so much. You know what I mean? Like, so
right?
That's how they're, you know what I mean? So it's subliminal.
Also, if you're using the following tab, you probably won't get this stuff. Make sure you use For You. I don't know, because I only use the For You tab because that's how you get new information. I don't care if people I'm following have to say. I get that stuff. So, but yeah, at the end of the day, I think we can confidently say that right now on X, we are experiencing a psyop from China or by China from someone else. There is some sort of China correlation to a currently ongoing psyop.
You know, I think this was so much fun. I'm going to save this list to my desktop here, and then maybe you could make like a price goal, and if we hit a high enough thing, they can suggest we run through and see if something's a psyop or not.
That's a bookmark that idea.
I got
that idea. I don't know about. Yes, that's a brilliant idea, Sammy. Way to go. Now you're thinking like a fucking grifter. Alrighty, crew. And with that, that's tonight's episode. So that is everything you need to know about psyops, everything ongoing with China right now. Your introduction for hopefully several of you to the White Files, and I think that wraps it up nicely. Do we have any final thoughts on the psyop discussion before we do our outros?
No, luckily I was this disenchanted by the time I was like 10 years old. So
I'm Native American. I was disenfranchised by the time I was 10 years old. So Cindy, what about you? What are your thoughts?
I found the whole thing creepy. Seeing it working in real time makes it even creepier. I am looking forward to talking about this again. So yeah, I'm looking forward to your ideas, Sammy. And oh my gosh, guys, just stay aware. Like, keep on top of these things. Don't believe.
Stay woke.
Yeah. Well, don't believe the first thing you hear. Double check. Triple check. I don't know. I don't even know how to word something like this off. That's crazy.
I mean, there really isn't a way to ward it off per se. So much so is just recognizing it when we see it.
Yeah.
That doesn't really.
Yeah, that's
ward it
the
off.
only way that you can be effective from it, because it's going to be spoon fed to you from all directions. So it was like,
right.
And sometimes it's going to be something like COVID, where they're going to lock you in your house. You can't do anything about it. It didn't matter where the virus came from. We still got it, right? Like, it's still the world that we were in. Sometimes all that shit's just going to be on your lawn. You're just going to have to shovel it. That's just what it is. And so the best thing that you can do is recognize that you're being lied to and try to act accordingly, because I mean, there's going to be no shortage of these coming up. If anything, they're going to be more and more prevalent as the exchange of information, the way that we get it, becomes more and more controlled by these entities. So
I'll give my final thoughts as well. By the way, as I do, guys, don't leave. I will be guesting on Box Office Brawler's show immediately after this for the very first time. I would love for all y'all Vital Idols to follow me on over there, and let's give Box Office Brawler a great show and awesome thank you for having me. Let's introduce to him some real bigotry, some real ideology, some real white supremacy. Point is, let's go over there and have a good time. As I just want to give him a nice, good raid as a thank you for inviting me on. Now, that's my final thoughts. Psyops is something that we always knew were out there. I don't know about always, but something that has become very common and very prevalent to talk about, which in and of itself could be a psyop, who's to say, but it's still very important to get the information out there. I really hope that if even one person tonight when watching this show was like, fuck, I need to look into this more, I've been being manipulated or whatnot. Like, I know obviously the show like this, it kind of comes with the territory that a lot of you already have these thoughts, but who's to say maybe it opened your mind to something else, and that's what we try and do at the end of the day. I love it when we debunk stuff because it makes the stuff that is real, not Israel, is real, mean so much more. And this is one of those things that not only can't be debunked, but it's patently true and real. And so, yeah, those are my thoughts on the matter. Cindy, tell people who you are, what you do, what you got going on, the whole nine.
I am Cinevere. You guys can find me on all platforms as Cinevere. I will have a stream later on tonight at 11:50 p.m. CST. I will be playing Alien Isolation. It scared the shit out of me last time, and I still haven't seen the alien. So, yeah, let's go hop on board and go find us an alien.
Sammy, what about you?
I'm Sammy 3 Feet. Yeah, follow me on YouTube, but right after this, I will be jumping on Third Railify's channel for his news show, and I'm not sure what we'll be covering, but I'm sure he will have a weird Canadian take on it. So.
And last but not least, you got me, guys. I do videos and streams every day. I don't know if there'll be a video tomorrow because I have to spend the day planning for a trip I have to make on Thursday, rather unexpected trip. I will still be live streaming from the road. I got an entire mobile setup that way I can do so. But the video might take a back seat. We will still be doing the lunch hour tomorrow, though. So show up tomorrow. Maybe a video, definitely the lunch hour stream. Check out the gaming channel. Me and Cindy had quite a long and fruitful discussion on the live action Zelda movie. That is posted over on the gaming channel. And yes, again, for those of you that donated, thank you so much. It truly means the world to me because of you guys. We have the best fucking job in the world, and we can only do it because of you. Again, we're raiding into Box Office Brawler, so make sure you hop in there and you say Vital Idol Raid. And until next time, it's all here in the Nerdosphere, and this has been Words of Paradise.